Okay, no one's done. Hello, and welcome to Violentoveture VR. Might do another episode on this. Okay. Let's see. 75%, okay. Sure, far away enough. Hold your arms out. Great, success, Bristol. Start this. Okay. That's weird. Yeah. That's cool. Ah. Okay. Okay. It's very difficult to look at that word. There we go. Got it. Violentoveture.
Hello, my name is Penn Gillette, and this is my partner Teller. We are Penn and Teller. You are now in possession of a virtual reality game that is not a game. This is a virtual toolbox filled with frankly unfair, unkind, unnecessary, and underhanded ways to humiliate and baffle your friends. F you, you, and you. Virtually nothing in our virtual world is what it seems. The games are rigged, so you always win. The simulations end in embarrassment and tragedy for the player. You can
Just
laugh while
adjusting
your
the
friend
sound.
screams. We give you cruel magic tricks disguised as cutting-edge science and pranks that leave your victims with actual, not virtual, egg on their faces. Because while our world exists only as a simulation, with you added, the outcome for your loved ones will be real. Oh, very real. Now pay attention. If you're the kind of gamer who always skips the instructional parts because they're always stupid and you're way too clever to need them, you've got to think again with PNT, FU, U, and U. There's particular stuff you need to know that's specific to each bit. Let us teach you how to navigate the waters that we've so conscientiously filled with sharks. We are your virtual friends, out to help you destroy your real friends. Now that we've christened you as a member of the PNT crew, we'll take you to our backstage area to really get started. See that highlighted button on the screen? This button is your ticket to the backstage area we use to disguise all the tomfoolery. When you're ready, point one of your controllers to the button and press the trigger. we'll transport you backstage to continue our dastardly confab. See you soon.
Can't wait to. Okay. Scroll. I'm wearing the strap
to the virtual monkey room. It's a creepily accurate replica of the backstage lounge where we hang out with our friends after our Vegas shows. Here's where you'll get your training. And here's your menu of bits to choose from. All handcrafted and organically rendered by artisans with no moral center to allow you to plunge your friends into psycho-technological freefall. By the way, it's now time to let that friends thing go. They are marks that will play together. Think of them from now on collectively as the chump. Time to dive in. Enough of the mumbo jumbo. Let's give you a taste of how you are going to practice a bit to pull off the swindle. Go ahead and select the highlighted button. Our bits fall into certain categories based off of how you want to bamboozle your chump. Go ahead and select the highlighted category to bring up a new series of bits. Presto changeo. Go ahead and select the highlighted bit. Once you've chosen the bit, here is where you can review the tutorial. You must do this if you haven't performed the bit before. You need to understand how to perform it, how to act, and any handy-dandy everyday objects you might need to gather before you wreck an unsuspecting chump. Go ahead, select the highlighted button. The bullet catch has killed more magicians than any other trick. It's even killed a few carnies. For real, killed them. So we never tried it till we worked out a method that made it safer than knitting.
Okay, I've got to do something quick.
Even though it was totally safe, looking down the barrel of a .357 Magnum Colt Python revolver, wicked scary. So you tell your chump he's going to get the thrill.
It was a bit enough to suggest something.
Keep a bullet at his mouth. But being virtual is absolutely safe. The chump's job is to snap his virtual teeth together just in time to stop the virtual bullet before it blows his virtual brains out. Won't that be fun? And you'll see it all from the point of view of Teller's tonsils. Step one. Tell the chump to hand you one of their controllers. Take it from them. Walk across the room and hold it out in front of yourself. You'll appear to be across the room, standing by me in the game. Step two, start with a test shot. Explain that when the ring around the bullet turns green, that's their signal to pull the trigger. You'll then fire 3 more bullets. Bang, bang, bang. Step three, after the third bullet, the gun will magically float in the air, making the chump believe you're still holding the gun and allowing you to secretly approach them. Meanwhile, in virtual space, they see you across the room holding a virtual shotgun. They think they know where you are, but now you're close enough to scare them to death. And you're going to. When the countdown hits 0, the shotgun will fire. And you grab the chump just as the shotgun blast would hit. Bang! For a second, virtual will get real. And they'll scream like they're the first person to really be shot with a shotgun in VR. Fun, fun, fun. Too easy, right? Since you've watched the video, we want to throw you into the mix to help you really sell that sweet, sweet payoff where your chump steps in shit. This is virtual reality and anything is possible. Let's put you in a place you'd never want to be in real life. Let's put you inside Teller's mouth for your version of our version of the magic bullet. Maybe you've heard of it. The most dangerous act in show business? It's a classic of magic. In our version, Teller and I ostensibly pretend to fake catch totally real bullets in our for-reals, no-kidding teeth. We've done that absolutely real-looking but completely phony trick in our Vegas show for decades, and we're a little tired. So how would you like to take over? We'll sit back on our virtual butts while you do the bullet catching, and we'll let you use Teller's teeth. You can have any friend you want do the shooting. Hand them one of your controllers now. You'll experience everything in slow motion on our virtual Vegas stage until you get good enough for our real-time Vegas version. Watch carefully. When the bullet is just the right distance from you, use your controller trigger to snap Teller's teeth safely around the bullet. Here we go. Ready, aim, fire! Looks like you might have missed one or two, but we think you're ready to do something that nobody, not even Penn and Teller, have ever tried. The bullet catch with a shotgun. You ready? You better focus. It'll take lightning reflexes to catch all these pellets. Catch this. Okay, got your training in your head? Got your real props hidden there in your entertainment center? Ready to harvest you some chump? Then slap that VR hat on your former loved one's face and F you, and you.
I'm just gonna try this. I think after this I'm just gonna play the game for real.
Good evening. We are Penn and Teller, and it is our pleasure to present to you a little water torture chamber act called Houdini, named after our backstage Wi-Fi, which is named after the escapologist Harry Houdini. Watching cheating magicians pretend to do Houdini stunts is not a tribute. A real tribute would be to truly demonstrate how hard his stunts were by taking a random person who had no idea what they were doing and plop him or her into this claustrophobic box of nightmares. That's where the person behind us comes in. They're getting ready now as I speak. First, binding the hands together. This is optional, but for the full experience, we recommend it. The straps of the controllers are perfect for this. So if his or her hands fit, they're putting one of the straps around both wrists. Handcuffs work wonders here, if they're around. And if any of you don't have handcuffs around your home, consider them a wise investment to make your life more exciting. Now that our volunteer is ready, tease! In a few moments, this torture chamber of death will be filled to the top with water. To escape, you must break open each lock by finding the correct key. Place each key in its matching lock and turn the key to unlock it. Hold your breath and imagine you're drowning. Great job! Ooh, you've got this. Wow. Oh, that's a tough one. They're going to be a vegetable if you don't get them out quick. Grab the axe. Hurry, 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 Teller, hurry, 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 hurry. Well, folks, even if they make it out of this constricting human aquarium with just the slightest hint of brain scramble, I consider that a win for us. Way to go, Teller. Ladies and gentlemen, we are Penn and Teller, and I am so thankful we avoided having yet another accident on stage. Please give a big round of applause to Teller, my partner, for being a true hero and coming through when it counts. A real lifesaver that Teller is, right? Oh, yeah. And to our wonderfully willing participant for surviving the bone-chilling act we like to call Houdini. Several years ago, Kel and I did a series of documentaries. We traveled around the world seeing close-up magic in all different cultures, street magic. And in every culture, they had a version of the same trick. The trick was pretty much the same, but the props changed. In China, they had these metal cups handed down generation to generation. In India, they had these hand-carved wooden cups. Because we were representing the United States of America, we used plastic cups, and we used aluminum foil balls, thus having the totally disposable, totally American cups and balls. The way it goes is like this. Take the ball, place it in your hand, vanish it, it appears underneath the cup. The second ball, place in our hand, and vanish. The way it's done all the way around the world. This is when Teller came up, did the ball, placed it in his hand, then shows it underneath the cup, and it still appears underneath the cup. Now we're all set. 3 balls on top. To the center ball, it's in the center cup. 2 side balls, put them away. They still regroup beneath the center cup. Now these 3 balls, I come over here. This is juggling. Giant ball beneath the center cup, 1 more near the side. And of course, for our finish, it's an American baseball. After we had done the American version of the cups and balls a few times, wanted to kind of zoom in and do a Penn and Teller version, which involves breaking a few rules of magic. Now, the first rule of magic is you never do the same trick twice. So we're going to. Second rule of magic is you never tell an audience how a trick is being done. It's going to tell you exactly how that trick is being done. The third rule of magic is you never let the audience see your secret preparation. They must not know what is hidden in which pocket. And the fourth rule of magic is unwritten, and I believe any magician in the world would agree with us in a second, that you never ever do the cups and balls with clear plastic cups. So here's the Penn and Teller version of the cups and balls. Then the first ball, put it in place in our hand, already stuck it beneath the first cup. The second ball simultaneously is written beneath the cup, put it in our hand, and show it. Then the third and final ball, put it in our hand, pretend to show it in the cup, put it in place in the cup, then secretly secrete it and reveal it. Now we're all set for the second half. 3 cups all loaded, 3 balls on top. Center ball, place in the cup. Each of the side balls, ready, put them away. We don't need them anymore. We have 3 duplicates in each of the cup. These balls over here, this is not juggling. It's called misdirection. If I look over here, tells us the final ball under, 1 more on either side. And of course, for the finish, It's an American baseball. UB Houdini is about experiencing the real thrill of death-defying escape without the real death. Unlike most of the bits we dream up, this is not about cheating your friends. This one you can play alone for good old-fashioned fun. The fun of panicked, claustrophobic drowning. Trust us, it's a blast, like VR Gitmo. And because UB Houdini's got no crooked elements, it's a good one for your friends to play to lull them into a false sense of security before pulling out your big scams. To get the most gut-wrenching terror out of this game, whoever's playing Houdini should stand with hands and feet together. Tie something around Houdini's ankles. You take more time doing that yourself. Then take the safety cord of one controller and put both of Houdini's wrists through the loop. With bondage, the sky is always the limit, but you'll be pleasantly surprised by how much this adds to your visceral panic. Pay attention to the instructions and try really holding your breath every time your virtual head goes under the virtual water. Of course, if you fall down or break something or suffocate from voluntarily breath holding, we bear no responsibility for your self-destructive fall. That's it. Play the game. Either sit back and watch your chump struggle to hold their breath and escape before the time runs out, maybe flick a little water on them, or play it yourself. In that case, you just drool while you're gasping. Hey, Teller, you're getting pretty good at this game. See, he's playing a quick reflex game that has him smashing virtual eggs at an egg sorting plant. So you just, what could be better than that, huh? And it's so easy. It doesn't even need to be a raw egg. You can use a wet wad of paper towel, a plate of spaghetti, or even a coffee creamer filled with disfiguring, deadly corrosive acid. It's all up to you. This bit also takes a little hand-eye coordination on your part to pull it off, but you love video games, and there's no problem. And it makes it more fun. Step 1, make sure your chump is sitting at a cleared-off table. Step 2, set one controller on the table and press the indicated button to calibrate the position and height of the table. Step 3, get your chump to position and make sure the table feels right in relation to what they're seeing in VR. Explain to the chump they won't need the controllers for this game. The system is using audio triangulation to track the chump's play. For that to work, while playing, they need to slap the table pretty hard to make a loud enough noise. Oh, I love that part. Hold the trigger when you're ready to start the game. Step 4. Once the game starts, the rules are spelled out for the chump. But here's where your video game playing skills come into play. You need to grab a controller, and every time the chump smacks the table, you pull the trigger. Be careful not to pull the trigger when they don't smack. The best way to do this is to not watch the chump, but just listen. When you hear a smack, pull the trigger. You might want to encourage the chump to hit the table harder if your timing is off. Harder, Teller, harder! Step 5, now for the fun part. As they play, take note of where in the middle of the table he smacks for the center eggs. A timer at the top of the screen will count down from 60 seconds. When the timer reaches 0, virtual eggs will stop appearing in the middle of the table, giving you about 10 seconds to set the surprise right in the middle of the table.
Daddy?
Hey, want to immorally swindle money from your chump friends using the power of virtual reality? Of course you don't. That would be immoral and highly illegal. We are obligated to admonish you not to use this game to make yourself richer. Just don't do it. But if you were a bad person and wanted to make money off chumps, you'd tell them you'd invented a cutting-edge VR prototype that can track hands without expensive to produce motion controllers. When their eyes light up with dollar signs, you'd offer to do a demo. You'd put the headset on the greedy bastard. Then you'd tell the chump to make movements with their hands while you secretly follow their movements with the controllers. That's it. We won't say it works like a charm because charms don't work. And this does. It'll seem miraculously, but more importantly, it'll seem like you've got an invention that's going to make a bundle for you and a few wise investors. If your chump asks how an idiot like you pulled off the next major breakthrough in VR, just do what all billionaires in tech do. Make up some random jive with phrases like heat signatures and motion algorithms, and make sure you throw in the words emergent and social. Ka-ching! Remember, this is supposed to be a prototype, not even at beta stage. This is alpha stage, and you are soon to be the rich alpha dog. When you start the trick, you press the trigger to log in, and your first prototype, which will show a long, boring loading screen with no mention of Penn and Teller. You get all the credit. The painfully dull wait sells the idea that a person like you did this on your own. When it finally boots up, your chump will see a barren, gridded room with some calming public domain music plays. It looks ugly. If it worked, can be worth zillions, and your fish will know that. Now ask your chump to make fists with both hands. Hold them out in front of them. Once they do, press the indicated button on each controller to make those fish show up. Get it? The computer isn't seeing their hands, you are. You're just watching them. This isn't new technology, this is just eyes. Technology that otters have, and otters aren't rich. Once you've clicked where the fish are, by looking at them, ask the chump to slowly move their fists around. As they do, follow the fists. Using your eyes. If they move too quickly, you just follow, just hit the indicated button to slow down the victim's movements. Whenever something goes wrong, blame it on the hardware, just like our real tech moment. After some time, watch.
Welcome to Penn and Teller Farms, where the chickens are fresh and the vegetables are always happy. Sorry we aren't here in the barn with you. We don't even like the smell of virtual cow manure, and we're afraid there might be some cyber bird flu virus. Here at P&T Farms, we've been experimenting with genetically modified chickens. As Teller likes to say, GM, oh boy. And these lovely half chickens, half creepy stuff that Teller doesn't want you to know, lay the best gosh darn eggs around. Most of the time. But like the rest of us, sometimes weird stuff comes out of their butts. Teller's working on fixing that on the chickens. But for right now, we need your help sorting out the good eggs from the weird stuff. Let's try it. When a good egg pops up, leave it there. Just do nothing. A little trap door will open, and it'll get shipped out to one of our dozens of happy customers. Try it out. If a rotten egg or something weird rolls down the chute, smack it. Go ahead. Exactly. If it's not a good egg, smack it. To make this more fun, you'll earn a point if you let a good egg fall through a trap door or smash anything they lay that isn't a good egg. If anything else happens, you'll lose a point. Now, let's sort us some eggs. We're on a tight schedule. Sort everything before your time is up. Get to work.
We know what you're thinking. Sure, this VR stuff is fun, but what good is it if I can't use it to traumatize somebody who suffers from arachnophobia? Well, we got some good news for you. This will scare the living bejesus out of anyone, and the true arachnophobe will never forgive you. Never. This is such fun to play, fun to watch, and brings the creepiest experience possible from the virtual world into the real world. Do we deliver or what? The program is plenty horrifying on its own, but if you're willing to do some extra prep, you can increase the effect to unending living nightmare. Get a couple of plastic spiders. Put some glue dots or double stick tape or loops of tape on the underside. Set them out of sight, and you are ready to go. This one is really bad. You should know we kind of feel a little bad about doing this one. How great is that? Tell your chump if you've downloaded some software that psychiatrists are using to help people deal with phobias. In virtual reality, the patients immerse themselves in their worst nightmares. Because there's no physical danger, they can practice controlling their fears, separating silly, unjustified phobias from real threats. It's bullshit psychiatry, but it's almost believable. In fact, there's probably really some quack doing cruel nut stuff like this and getting grants for it. We know what you're thinking. Sure, this VR stuff is fun, but what good is it if I can't use it to traumatize somebody who suffers from arachnophobia? And we got some good news for you. This will scare the living bejesus out of anyone, and the true arachnophobe will never forgive you. Never. This is such fun to play, fun to watch, and brings the creepiest experience possible from the virtual world into the real world. Do we deliver or what? The program is plenty horrifying on its own, but if you're willing to do some extra prep, you can increase the effect to unending living nightmare. Get a couple of plastic spiders. Put some glue dots or double stick tape or loops of tape on the underside. Set them out of sight, and you are ready to go. This one is really bad. You should know we kind of feel a little bad about doing this one. How great is that? Tell your chump if you've downloaded some software that psychiatrists are using to help people deal with phobias. In virtual reality, the patients immerse themselves in their worst nightmares. Because there's no physical danger, they can practice controlling their fears, separating silly, unjustified phobias from real threats. It's bullshit psychiatry, but it's almost believable. In fact, there's probably really some quack doing cruel nut stuff like this and getting grants for it. This will only work with someone if they are not wearing long sleeves. So have them take off their outer shirt. They might save the shirts from tears of fear and rage. But they won't thank you for that. See? They deserve everything they get. They'll see spiders of various sizes dropping down from above, and the chump will swing the controller to squash the animated spiders. Encourage them to look up and around to make sure they see all the spiders, especially the ones on the floor, which can be easy to miss. You want them moving around and turning around a fair amount. As they do this, pick up your spiders and wait. At some point, press the button, and they'll get an error message saying they've stepped out of the play area. Say, oh, you've gone out of bounds. Take one spider in each hand, grab them by the forearms near the wrists, as you say, let me get you back into position here, can I? As you're moving them, press the spiders onto their arms, or they will stick to their skin. They won't feel them, they just feel you holding on to them, guiding them into place. This is perfect misdirection and perfect justification for touching them. They don't even remember to touch them. Then go back to the keyboard and tell them to take 1 or 2 steps forward. And when they do, press the button again. The playing screen will come back on, and it'll seem to them like it came back on because they stepped back to the play area. Get him, Teller, get that big one. Get that one over there. Get him, get him, get him. Make sure the chump kills the big spider. When the big spider dies, the ground spiders will stop coming, and a giant will descend and charge at the chump. Then the game will end. Here, the chump takes the headset off, then say, I'll take the controllers. When they go to hand them to you, they'll see the spiders on their wrists. Mission accomplished. Just try to stay out of the splash zone. You know, in Desert Boss, we give you the chance to see how, thanks to virtual reality, you could do a job you'd never want to do. A horizontal trip across endless flat desert. In this one, we go vertical with another bad job you don't want to do. High, rise, grind fighters. If you have a fear of heights, well, it's going to be really exciting. You're going to play a window cleaner on a scaffold dangling from a skyscraper, going up floor by floor where you perform a menial task. Now, of course, buses crash and you can die driving them, but you can't just free fall knowing you're about to splat. This is definitely more exciting, mind-numbing work. As you clean the window on each floor, you'll see little references to stuff that we've done, tricks and images. As you get higher and higher, the rooms and music become more creepy with a nice punchline. It's a scary murder mystery kind of thing. Now, when Teller did this, we were first trying it out, he knew it was coming. And still, he screamed and fell on the floor. But he's dramatic about things like that. It's a great thing to play, and it's a great thing to watch someone else play after you've done it. You might want to get right near your friend when you see that look-up message to catch them if they lose their balance. I got you, I got you, I got you, I got you. It's one way to get a date to fall into your arms. We're here to help. Hello again, it's Penn Jillette and my partner Teller. Since the whole point of this game is to bewilder an unsuspecting chump, we wanted to make it easy for you to do it over and over and over again. Playlists are like acts of a stage show where you choose specific bits and the order that they play out for your chump. To show you how all this stuff works, we'll create a new playlist together. A swindle composed of a few of Teller's and my favorite bits. Go ahead and select the highlight. Perfect. A highlighted area of the menu contains a list of all the bits. Let's go ahead and throw some of these bits into our playlist. Let's start with a psychic act known as Mofo Knows. Select the button with your controller, but this time hold in the trigger to grab it. Keep the trigger held and drag it into the highlighted area, and then let go of your trigger to add it to the playlist. There you go. Let's pick out a few more bits. Go ahead and add the delightful high-rise grime fighters. We'll hang tight until you do. Wickedly wondrous. Now close out with a smashing good time by adding quality egg control. Ka-ching! You can add as many bits as you like to a playlist, but I think this one is baked to perfection and ready to roll. So let's wrap this up, my friend. I'm going to disable your controls for a few seconds while I show you a few useful things. You can just follow along. A highlighted button allows you to customize the name. To save time, we'll go ahead and name this one for you. Now for the most important part of our little instruction. When you're ready to play one of your devious concoctions, you can select the highlighted button. You can then choose to exit the monkey room and go directly to the Penn and Teller stage to play it from start to finish. Here's the kicker. We've disguised the Start the Show button on the stage menu to play whatever playlist you have active. This way, your chump won't have a clue that you're trying to hoodwink them. Well, that's that. Now you're up to speed on creating playlists. Go hog wild. Use your creations to leave your chumps in a puddle of their own salty tears. Show no mercy. Go! Do it! You all know rock, paper, scissors, also called Rochambeau. Tell your chump it's even easier and fairer to play in VR. They'll believe that, and then Thanks to our advanced programming, you're set up to win as much as you want. And when you're sick of winning, wasn't that supposed to happen to all of us? You can just walk away and leave them alone. The classic, hey, where'd everyone go gag. Here's how this bit works. Explain to the chump that recently there was a cheating scandal at the International Rock, Paper, Scissors Championship. It involved what's called hand watching. Players were watching their opponent's hand, determining what sign they were starting to throw, and milliseconds later, throwing the sign that would win. You can also explain that people cheated in other ways. Just throw anything you want. The International Rock, Paper, Scissors Association had to figure out how to prevent cheating, and technology was the solution. Instead of hand gestures, we now use VR controllers. When the voice says 3, 2, 1, go, you press 2 or more buttons for rock, no buttons for paper, and 1 button for scissors. The movements are so similar as to be indistinguishable. It's the fairest way to play because I can't get a glimpse of what you're going to throw until you've thrown it. It's absolutely impossible to cheat. You see your choice animated on screen, and a computer tally keeps perfect score. Let's play a few games. Ready up? Now you play, legitimately for a while. When you're ready to start winning streak, you quickly pull the controller trigger 3 times. Now the game will autoplay for you, starting with the next match. We've rigged the game so that in a fraction of a second, they think the button push is being processed, the program sneaks you in with the winning move. It's cheating exactly the same way you told them this system would prevent. This is the kind of scam that really pleases us. Enjoy it for a while, then leave. The game will keep playing for you. And the longer the play, the more they lose. Now you're winning all the time, and you're not even there. Eventually, they'll get discouraged, and finally they'll give up and take off the headset. They won't know what hit them. They'll be all alone. Just a sad loser with no one to play with. Perfect. They know you're laughing at them, but you're gone. Please use your absence wisely. Flirt with someone the chump loves. Or crazy glue live bats to the windshield of their car. Come on. We've given you a few precious minutes to pull off the prank of a lifetime. We only ask you one thing in return. Document. Put it online. Never let them forget.
Let's get this going. Okay, I think that's going to be the end of that video. I forgot I was making it. That's why I haven't ended it yet.